Okay, so here's a more detailed description of the CybORG ARViz. So CybORG is a cybersecurity simulation environment where there's a red agent and there's a blue agent, and they play a turn-based game, trying to simulating a real-world attacker and defender scenario. Okay, so in this app, I think there's a two main part of it, which is one is the AR scene. As you can see, it's the actual camera scene, and there's another place which is underneath the hood. That's the white part is the control panel. So in the control panel, you could actually start the game, and while it's starting, it actually just initialize the game rather than actually starting a round. So you have to click next to play. So one thing to show is, so this is the network. As we can see, inside the network, there's, first of all, there's system settings, which is hard-coded right now. And there's also the network. So I would like to explain a little bit more about this network. So first of all, there's node, which represents an actual machine. So there's a host, which is the machine, and there's router, which is also a machine, and there's also a line. That line actually means a route. So so inside one subnet, all the nodes are connected to the router. So that's how the node can talk to each other. So if there's a route between two nodes, then they can talk to each other. Yeah, and there's also three subnets. We can see this operational router, which means it has an operational subnet, and there's also a enterprise router, which means the enterprise subnet, and there's also the user router, which means the user subnet. And the actual attacker, the red agent, is located on user 0. So think of it, it's in a public library and doing some malicious stuff. And I also spent some time creating this character. You can actually take a look at the character. It's quite cute, I would say. And there's also a defender locating on the enterprise router subnet, and it's actually doing the command on this defender. Another thing I would like to notice is the color of the node, which means the host. So when it's red, when it's red, it means the node has already been privilege escalated. The red agent has the root control of that host, and if it's green, it means it has not been affected at all. And let's explain the router. So the router is actually representing the subnet. So if it's the subnet is discovered, the user router here will be rosy brown. Let's click the next round. So it's saying that the host defender do monitor on the whole network, and it's actually success. And the red on user 0 do a discover network services, and it finds user 2. So when it's got discovered, so for example, it discovered there's a Apache web server running on 80, then it got discovered. So it knows there's something, there's port 80 opened. So I mark it as pink. And you can, let's look at the next round. So while the blue agent is still monitoring, user 0 actually got exploit. So it got some exploit. It has a reverse shell connected to it, so the user can actually kind of see what's going to happen. So I mark it as brown. It's actually orange, so which means it's a little bit dangerous now. And the next step for the user zero I would anticipate it to actually privilege escalated it, so it will turn red if the defender do nothing. But interestingly, the defender actually figure it out, so it does a remove action on user 2, which means it removes the malicious shell on user 2. So for red agent is too bad. That's too bad. So it got turned back to pink. And so you can see it also tries privilege escalation on user 2, but since the shell got removed, the user 0 cannot privilege escalate it because the shell is not there anymore. So that's the whole concept of the game. And actually, so before I talk about other stuff, I'd like to also go through some buttons. So you could show less if you don't want to see this text under here. So you could see more to see more, and show less to just ignore it. Yes, this is pretty much about it, and you could play through it. As you can see, it got exploited again and it got removed again, which is quite interesting, I would say. So another thing that I do about this network is, as we've shown before, is you can actually go closer, or you could translate it, move it anywhere you want, and you could scale it. So I think the scaling would be pretty beneficial if you have a big subnet. So right now we only have 3 subnets. If the network has like 50, let's say 20 subnets and 100 or more nodes, you might have a hard time figuring out what each subnet is doing. So by scaling it up, you could actually focus on one of the subnets and see what's going on. And it's it's quite, the text is quite clear, so you can always see what's going on. And you could always rotate it. And right now the rotation does not seems to be super useful, other than have a 360 view of actually the agent. That's the only thing that's useful right now. So you can actually take a look at the agent. Yeah, these agents are made on a website called ScapsLab, if I'm not wrong. Yep. Yeah, but in the future, maybe some nodes you want to take a better look at the all around, and that's one benefit, I think. So on this, but I would also like to mention the limitation. So there's actually more information coming back from the observation. For example, if you do a exploit, if it's successful, you'll get the process information, because you essentially need to know how to access to the reverse shell. But I did not put it onto the scene. And also I did not put the host machine on the scene as well. But the information is there, but I did not successfully implement tap, because I would like to tap it and showcase the information, but I had a hard time implementing the tab, so that's why I kind of let it go, and hopefully I'll figure it out later on and make it a more complete project. Yes, but still I think it's quite I think that's all about this project, and you can always click till the end of the game. Oops. Yeah, that's the end of the game. So and you could kill it. Yep, that's pretty much it.